Welcome back to another episode of Oxygen Not Included, everybody. This episode will be premiering on Saturday the 13th. This marks a slight change in the way that I'm going to be releasing episodes. So going forward, right now I'm recording about a week in advance, which is fine, but I don't want to get too far ahead. And I also have been enjoying occasionally doing live stream on Oxygen Not Included. So going forward, starting on Saturday the 13th, I'm going to be recording a live stream every Saturday night. Unfortunately, with my work schedule, I don't know what time that live stream will be, but it'll be every Saturday night at one time or another. And then what I'm going to do is that live stream should be in line so that the following Saturday is when it would fall in the release of the episodes. And so I will release the replay of that on the channel on Saturday night. And then Saturday nights we won't have a new episode. We'll just have a replay from the stream from the week before. And we'll have 6 new episodes a week. I think that should work pretty well for at least a little while. And we'll see how it works and go from there. But for now, let's get sunk back into our colony here. As soon as the autosave lets us be unfrozen. I have a few things to show off that we did in between last episode and this one. First of all, it took a few episodes, but as promised, Sai now has his very own private bedroom. It's not fancy yet, but I'll add some more fanciness to it. We're also finishing up getting this polluted water pit built. What I'm going to try to do here, in fact I need to dig out a little more first, so let's make this priority 9 this here. I'm trying to get the clean water out of the bottom here so we can build this out and fill this up. I'm specifically building it here because we have room to move down as we need to add more space for the polluted water tank. But I want to get the clean water down here collected in one pit so that I can pump that over here into our clean water tank. And then we can start collecting more water from all over the map and get it all together. So that's our priority right now. We also still want to get the natural gas generators in up here above the polluted water tank. I'm not quite sure where we're going to fit them in yet. This geyser, which I did check, and it is a iron volcano. So that is something we want to use in the future, but for now it's just going to be closed off. So it's kind of ruining our spot right here. We was going to put the natural gas generators up here above the pit, but we'll have to make a little bit of adjustments, but we'll get them in there. And then once we remove this gravitas building that was here, we can have space to move our storage down even a little farther, because we're going to have a lot more polluted water on this map than clean water to start. And that's good because we're using the polluted water to farm our bog buckets. So I want to get that finished being set up. We already have the natural gas being collected together. This is, I have not been able to finish analyzing it yet, but I don't think it's active. I think it's dormant at the moment, which is fine. Gives us time to get everything built up. But once we have our power set up, we already have food, the starting of our food system set up. So we have sustainable power, sustainable food. The next thing we would want to work on is getting sustainable oxygen set up, which means finding a clean water source and setting up a electrolyzer setup somewhere here. We could also try doing some rust deoxidizers just to try it out. I've never done it before, so it could be interesting. I don't know how good of a source it is, but it is something that we could try to do. So you need rust and salt, and you get oxygen, chlorine, and iron ore, which is interesting to get iron ore out of it. But So we could mess around with that a little bit. Um, but so those are our priorities. So for now, I'm going to get this finished built, and I'm going to get the figure out where we're going to put the natural gas generators and run all the piping for that, and then I will be back. I have started laying out the natural gas generator setup, and we ran into the fact that we are out of refined metals. So we are just going to head back to our main colony, which seems to be going pretty well. Quickly want to check on these Slicksters. 7, 7, 4, 7, 7. Still not quite where I want them to be. Not quite balanced out, but I want to change. The main thing I wanted to do, I want to change this back to 20 and turn off auto wrangle so that there's somewhere for the extra Slicksters to go. I had turned that off so that we could get all those Slicksters out into the actual colony. Anyway, we're going to come down here and we're going to check out. Before we do, let's see, what do we have the most of as far as refined metals go? Because we can use any refined metal for what we're working on. Alright, so refined metal, we have a few hundred tons of lead and 100 tons of aluminum. So let's go to refined metals. We're gonna do, let's see, that's not what I wanted. I'm gonna do 20 tons of aluminum, and we'll do 20 tons of lead. We're going to set those on both on priority 9, which means that they will fill up these bins, but they won't transfer them over yet. How are we doing on food over there? We're getting there, but we're still a little low. So while we're at it, let's send some barbecue because we have plenty here. So we'll fill this up. Again, we'll set this on 9 so that it fills all these up. And then we'll come back in a few minutes once these are all filled, and we'll transfer everything over to our new colony. Are you getting coal for me? Good. That battery alert had me worried, because if we get to the point where there's no coal in here and this runs out of power, then we can't get back out to turn it back on, which is an issue. But soon we'll be running on alternative powers, and we're going, once we do, we're going to connect all this up so that it's inside the colony, so that duplicants can get up here to manage the system without exosuits on. And we'll just make the exosuit side of the colony outside the farming area. Okay, so let's go back to, I really don't even know how to pronounce this colony. Idaleolus? Okay, so now these are set to 9. This is also set to 9. So all I need to do is change this to 7. And it will start filling up the transporter. What I'm going to do is, while they are doing that, I'm going to turn this off so that nobody can get in, because I want to have these get emptied without them trying to fill anymore. And then I'll turn it back on for them to finish filling up the barbecue. Put this one 7 too, that way it moves that out too. Okay, so right now we have refined metal coming across, which means we have what we need to put in our battery. We're actually going to put a couple batteries. We need another autosave. Lovely. Never get tired of the autosaves. Okay, so we're going to put a couple of batteries up here. Then we're going to run some heavy conductive wire. And then we need our automation wires. Then we're going to connect them through like this, down to this one. Oh, I need electrical engineering. Who do I have that has enough morale for that? Do I think Sai can get to it? That's 2 more points. He's already overstressed. Otto needs 2 more points for it, so he can do it. Otto, you're going to be our electrical engineer. Okay, so while that's getting built, what we need to do is run this line up to there. So I think we're going to run it straight across through this way. So we'll just run it up like this. Okay, then we also need to handle the carbon dioxide. And I think that eventually what we're going to do is we're going to pump that carbon dioxide right up into space. Because unlike the other colony where we were trying to save carbon dioxide to feed to our slicksters, we're not going to be doing that over here. And I don't think it's worth sending it over to the other side because we already have more carbon dioxide than we can handle. If that changes, we can always change it. But for now, what I'm going to do is we'll just put in a gas reservoir where we can store the carbon dioxide temporarily. And then we'll work on building a vent up to space to get rid of it. I think that is a good plan. So let's cancel buildings, and let's put in mesh tiles that go all the way over to here, and we'll put in just some regular tiles because we don't want to be bumping into Sai's new bedroom. Okay, so once all that gets built, including the piping, we'll have to figure out where we're going to put our power transformers, but we can connect our power grid up to our natural gas system. And since these are stacked the way they are, the polluted water will just drip down and land right in here in our tank. So that'll be great. So we're going to let that all get built, and we'll be back once it's done. I think I discovered what hopefully is our last problem we had with our setup here for the Slickster Farm. This critter drop-off was set at priority 9. And so before... Well, not necessarily before, but... Yeah, before these, because these are all set at 7. Before it would put any critters into any of these 12 egg-laying farms, it would put critters into here. So every time a critter was born, it got immediately put into the kill room, and so they didn't have a chance to lay any eggs. So hopefully now, as these hatch, they will get put in these rooms. These critters should stay below 7 in the room, so they should all be laying eggs at 17%, which means every 6 cycles we'll get a new egg. And since we have 12 times 7, that's 84 slicksters, all laying eggs every 6 cycles, which means that we should be getting quite a few eggs. So hopefully, when we come back to check on this again, we have a stockpile of eggs being incubated. We'll see, but I think that it should work now. I think I have found all of the bugs in the system. we're definitely getting a lot of meat because we have. Oh, where are you taking the meat to? You should not be taking meat anywhere. Oh, it's putting the meat in here, so that's a problem. This was designed so that any excess food that got dropped was put in here and then stored back in deep freeze. Meat should not be on that list, and neither should pacu fillet, because they get dropped off here to get cooked. And so these guys were picking them up, putting them in there, and it was an infinite loop, because this would grab it, put it through here, which would drop it in here, and this would drop it on the floor again, and then they would repeat it forever. So that should be fixed. I don't know if that's going to have anywhere to get stored, because he just dropped that one, but we'll see. Hopefully somebody will grab that and put it into the electric grill. But now that's what was happening, is this meat was never getting put in here. So this auto sweeper will automatically grab the meat and put it into the electric grill when it needs more, if there's no duplicates around to do it, which there usually are plenty, because right now they don't have a lot to do here in the main colony. So, all right, let's check on this. Looks like we still have a pile of aluminum to put through, and then some barbecue that we dropped on the ground for that to get put into the other colony. So that's coming through. Autosave. Always interrupting my videos. So back here, we getting the pipes getting laid out. We still have to finish a few more sections of that. Oh, we messed that up pretty good. Oops. When I put that through, that was all natural tiles, so we ripped off the back wall of both of our bedroom. Or no, our bedroom's fine now. But we messed up the back of the dining hall, so our room notices are all gone. Okay, so we got to get those put in high priority. Not to mention that duplicants will be able to get out of the base without an exosuit through those cracks. So let's set that all to level 9 so we get that done quickly. Okay, cool. So that's all working good. We have everything we need to finish this build. We just have to get it built. So let's check out the skills for our duplicates here, because we gained a few more. Axel now has the ability to get exosuit training, which is great. He won't be moving so slow. Otto's a little over on his skills, so we'll do that. So is Chrono, but that's because we knocked out those rooms. So everybody's running a little bit behind. Ashcan almost has enough skill points. He's going to get the field research, because we're going to use him as our researcher to analyze all of our geysers and volcanoes and stuff. So that is good. This is still pumping away, sorting out our fluids down here. Basically, the plan is once those are done, we will just move around to get some more pockets of fluids all sorted out. Normally, I would have just dug and collected them all in one spot, but I decided on this one I didn't really want to end up doing that. I probably will combine some of these smaller pools together, like this one into this one, before we pump it out, but we'll definitely be pumping it instead of letting it fall gravity-wise. So everything looks great. It's all running pretty well. We just got to get this last little bit of this system built up. I think I need to set the priority on the farm tiles a little higher too to make sure they come down and harvest them. Because food is an issue at the moment. But I think it's because we're just not getting the harvest done. An issue. Oh, that's a problem. I just realized that's something that we need to work on. So we have exosuits that are getting worn out. We have the reed fibers. I sent over about 600 of them when we started, but I never set up a place for us to repair the exosuits. So, let's put it up here. Put it on the roof. When in doubt, put the buildings on the roof. It's a good rule for life. Tell your kids. Okay, so let's do a high priority on that. Because these idle duplicates here can get that done. And then we can set that to repair the worn exosuits that are all... worn atmosuits, I mean, they're sitting here making it so nobody can leave the base, which is why nothing's getting done. Of course, the only person who doesn't have exosuit training is the one who grabs the exosuit to run and get the steel that I need to finish the building to repair the exosuits. That's genius. Oh, we're using lead. That's fine. You shouldn't be standing up here next to the high pressure vent. Oh, we had, just to show this, I had just cut off the power to this once all the natural gas was pulled out of the map. We'll let everything else build up, and we'll eventually set up a system to handle the carbon dioxide down here, but we have a while before that becomes an issue. We will take the eggs. Sure, why not? Cool. Wires are done. We're just waiting for the building to get done. I tend to forget the worn atmosuit dynamic because when I first played this game a long time ago, that was not a thing. Atmosuits lasted forever. You just had to make enough so that you could fill your dock up, and then you could just put them back in. I do like the fact that they get worn out, so you have to have a renewable source of reed fiber so that the atmosuits can be repaired, but I always forget about it. So all we need to do is set worn atmosuits repair forever. We have 800 units of reed fiber stored on this side of the colony, so that's good. We'll probably bring some reed seeds over so that we can get the farm going down here for that too, because we already have the hydroponic system set up, so it won't be hard to add those in. Is somebody gonna do this? Waiting for materials. Oh, I think that the reed fibers are still up here. So I need one of these dudes that have the exosuit to run and get them. And they are running to get the food. I definitely need to put this section of the map inside the base. So let's do that right now. We're gonna put let's put a wall like this and deconstruct this tile. That way we can just have our duplicates come down here, get to the farm, get up here without exos or atmosuits, and then the atmosuits will be for this area out here. Mostly we wanted the atmosuits for when they're going into areas like inside the geysers and things like that. So But since we have a direct path here now, that means this food production will skyrocket, because what was holding it up was that people had to grab their Atlas suits and run all the way around to get to that. So that will be a great thing. So I'll be right back after we get this all set up and they finally finish the natural gas power system now that they're able to get to it. While I was waiting for the power system to finish building on the other asteroid, I came back across to get some more steel and plastics, and I noticed that we had neglected to connect up a wire, or a pipe I should say, from our petroleum down to our plastic production. So we sent all the plastic across and now we're out of plastics. So I just ran a quick pipe from this top row of storage, which wasn't being used. It kind of jumps across all the way down. Pipe's still being built. And then the pipe comes down here. It goes all the way down here. That needs connected. Scoots all the way down to the bottom of the map. Auto save. Always at the worst possible moments. Okay, and then it comes across here. Ducks underneath the water pipes. All the way over here, jumping across. And then up through here. And into our petroleum storage here, which is already set to go to the plastics. So once we have that connected, we'll be able to refill the plastic storage here and get plastics back to our base. Just gotta wait for this pipe to get finished being constructed, which shouldn't take long. We do have plastics and steel being delivered across, so we should be set for a while. And looks like they're just about finishing up wiring everything. I did decide I'm going to put 3 power transformers up here. That way we can run wires out to the base. Have not done that yet, but we will connect the existing grid to that and move the coal generators over to this side next to the natural gas generators as a backup so that they can all be centralized. But now we have a renewable form of power that will be working as soon as all of our batteries and everything else are in place. And we will have to deal with carbon dioxide sooner rather than later, but everything should be working for right now. You can see it very quickly fills up the batteries and then the automation shuts it off. So once we connect it to the base and starts drawing power, it will all be set up to work. And we are getting everything else, all the other jobs finished so that we have storage. So now we've gotten down to the water part of our little dredge tank here. So we're filling this up with water. So that's the next step, is getting more fluids sorted out. So our priorities going forward are, we want to get a proper plumbed toilet in. We want to make proper bedrooms for all of our Gurgani duplicates, and then we're going to want to work on getting some cooling set up, because these natural gas generators are going to provide heat to our base. We want to make sure that we're keeping the crops at the right temperature so that they grow. But I did want to point out, once we made it so that the duplicates could get here to harvest these crops very quickly, our calories shot up by 25,000 calories of bog jelly. So now every time that these grow, they'll get harvested and keep adding to it. So that's the other thing that we really want to prioritize in the next couple of episodes, is getting a deep freeze storage on this colony as well, so that we don't have the same problem where we have a lot of food going and spoiling. We want to start stockpiling. So we're going to end this episode out by checking out this blueprint, and we'll take a wart seed since we don't have any on this side of the colony. So I hope you enjoyed watching. After this episode, the next thing that will be done is I'm going to be doing a live stream on Saturday night after this episode comes out. I don't know what time, unfortunately, but that'll be on twitch.tv facebook.com/ender7154 if you want to come check it out. So I hope to see you there, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.